Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be reviewing my purchases that I made in May of last year, and we're going to talk about whether or not I thought those purchases are worth it. If you are new to my channel is very much about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, while being critical and a little bit cynical about new makeup releases and just kind of like the makeup scene in general. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. I also have merch if that's something that you're interested in, and I am on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's no pressure to, it's just a way to support the channel. But if you like and comment and do all those things, that's another great way to support me. So there's no hierarchy of ways to support me. They're all good ways to support me. Whenever I do this series, it's about like reflecting on my purchases. So while I do buy makeup for review on my channel, last year when I was doing my budget, I was trying to buy things that I was interested in, then like also reviewing it on my channel. And this year it's a little bit different, which we're gonna actually have a conversation about where my money has gone this year as far as beauty purchases, because it's been less explicit as it was last year. So I would like to touch base on that somewhere further down the line, just to like clarify things for both you and myself. But I figured since I did such like mammoth videos last week, like with the ritual defeat, and then every other video I posted last week was pretty long, so I'm here for like a short something. We're just touching base a little bit. I just want to be critical of also things that I have purchased, and like, was I thinking clearly? Was I making good purchases? So that's what the purpose of this video is. So kind of encouraging you to think about whenever you are deciding to buy beauty, do you think that next year that purchase is still going to be good? Obviously, when we try new things, there's no way for us to know whether or not we're going to like absolutely love something. But I think reflecting on us helps us make better choices in the future. The first thing that I purchased this month last year was the Flower Beauty Spotlight Wand dupe thing of the Charlotte Tilbury. I have now since tried the Charlotte Tilbury one. I did not have this for very long, to be quite honest. I bought it to get free shipping on some skincare, I think. I think I was trying the Snail Mucin from CosRx. Shipping and buying this were both the same amount of money. So I was like, maybe I'll just buy a product instead of paying for shipping. So in theory, I did not spend any more money than I would have had I paid for shipping. But then it now counts towards my beauty budget, because shipping did not count towards my beauty budget last year. And skincare was like not included in my makeup budget last year. I got it and I didn't like it, and I just was like, I don't understand the purpose of this, and I moved on from it very quickly. I think I used it like maybe twice, and it just like languished for a month, and I said, I need to get this in the hands of someone else because it is not for me. As someone who has now tried both the Charlotte Tilbury and the Flower Beauty, now again, my memory of the Flower Beauty is like short, sweet. I don't really remember like liking it all that much, and I got rid of it. I have the Charlotte Tilbury one. Now, from what I recall, the formula in the Charlotte Tilbury one is like more elegant. But I also think if you don't have the kind of money to buy the Charlotte Tilbury one, that you don't need to like fork out the money. I think that the Flower Beauty one serves a similar purpose. But I think I like the shade of the Charlotte Tilbury one a little bit more. I don't know that the shades were exactly the same, and I might have gotten like the rose gold one, like a more pink leaning one whenever I bought the one from Flower Beauty. The Spotlight one from Charlotte Tilbury, that's the shade. Spotlight is the shade. It's like a pretty good neutral shade, and I do find myself reaching for it a lot. It's still not like a product I really recommend. Like, it's like handy now that I have it. But I think it's one of those things where like I have it and I like it enough, and I just continue to use it. So it is really pretty. I just talked about it last week in my video where I was talking about like my favorite products to use. And it's definitely a product I changed my mind about. Whenever I initially did my Charlotte Tilbury review, I was like, I just simply don't get it. And like, I get it a little bit more. It's like this nice, beautiful, subtle highlight. So I do like the Charlotte Tilbury better than the Flower Beauty, but also I still do think that the Flower Beauty is like a good alternative for someone who doesn't have nor wants to spend as much on this kind of product. But I also think we just like need to be done with squeezy sponge applicator tubey things. No more, please. I don't want any more. No, thank you. The next thing I bought was a couple of shades from Terra Moons. So they are these circle pans with the more intense colors over here. Ignore these. These live in my top drawer rent-free. These are the Seeking Shifts and Shine by SD collaboration, the Earthborn collection. Those are my heart. I love them. I also found an acre and I put it back in for those of you who were concerned. I actually got a little bit concerned because I couldn't find my Terra Moons ones, and then I thought I accidentally sent them to Cam, who is also known on YouTube as Clove Room. So go subscribe to them and go watch their content if you never have before. They're great. I love them, and I sent them some of the makeup that wasn't serving me anymore, and hopefully they find a better life in their collection. But I also, when I sent them to Cam, I was like, I don't care if you like pass these on to other people or if you find new homes for them or whatever you do with them. It's like whatever you do with them. Like if you're not interested in it, then pass it on. Anyway, I bought these 4 shades. So this is Moontide, this is Terra Borealis, this is Blood Moon, and then this is Centauri. Let me start with the highs. I really like Moontide and Terra Borealis. They're beautiful, textured, sparkly shades. Terra Borealis has my whole heart though. So Terra Borealis is on my middle finger, and then on my index finger is Moontide, and they are just like so stunning. They're just really pretty. And I do think that Terra Borealis, this like red shifting thing, I think we think that that's like a fairly common shade at this point. A lot of brands, when they do duochromes or like multichromes, that's kind of the way that most people head in that realm. But I think the difference between Terra Borealis and the other ones is that there is like a lot of texture in it that I feel like we don't see in other brands, especially when it's on the eye. Look how glittery my hand is just from those 2 swatches. I would say that those are the 2 highlights for me, and I like really love those 2 shades. And then Blood Moon. This is a really cool multichrome, and what I'm loving right now is on the screen, you're really seeing the green shift. In real life, I see more of a red shift. So there's the red. And then the green. So that's the shift. You can kind of see it when I tilt it, that there's like a shift to red. It's this beautiful blackened multichrome. Like, look at it. It's just so beautifully grungy, and there's not as much texture in this shade, but I just think it's so unique. It's just so dark, and I just feel like a lot of brands don't go that dark for real. Like, and I just was like really refreshed by it. I haven't used it too much, even though I have like, you know, despite what I look like today, I typically do I'll typically do like a more smoky look. Like that's kind of been more where I've been heading recently in my makeup journey. So I have been really enjoying it, but I will say I haven't, you know, put as much love into it as I have the top 2. And then my last shade here was kind of a dud. It's the shade Centauri. Now I want you to just like look at the pan. And this isn't the like, I'm not like coming for the brand with this. It's just, I don't think that this formula got mixed very properly. So there are some other glitters, but that big chunk right there, it's like something that didn't get mixed. And the way that this one feels versus all 3 of the other shades I have, it just is like, it tugs. It almost feels like sticky. It's just not as elegant feeling as like the other shades. And it's still a pretty shade. But even when we're talking about like duochromes, multichromes, it just doesn't do it for me. I have a bunch of multichromes from Clionadh, which I'm not even saying is like the be all end all of multichromes. It's just like the first multichromes that I bought, and then when I bought into the multichrome fad, I bought into like Clionadh. I really was kind of bummed out by Centauri not being as special, because I remember being very excited about it when I picked it out. But what I would say, if I were to recommend what to do with Terra Moons, I would say go with their sparklier shades, but sparklier shades are typically my preference. Their duochromes, multichromes were like a little less stellar to me, because even with multichromes, I do prefer like a textured, very flaky, lots of glitter in my multichromes. It's like very much my preference. But I'm also going to link down below. Seeking Shifts, I believe, just did like a mammoth 2-hour video where Riley got really into the nitty gritty of all of the shades from Terra Moons. I'm going to leave that as a resource down there for you. So I would absolutely buy from Terra Moons again. I think they do really great collections. They're really great. Like they do really great singles. And I think that they're really great. If I were to buy from them again, I would just make sure that I was buying sparklier shades, because that's what sings to me the most. I don't know that either was a perfect purchase. The Flower Beauty thing, not a good purchase. Bad purchase. Just should have paid for shipping. And I should have just like called it what it was. And then with Terra Moons, I think I could have done a better job selecting my shades, but I think 3 out of 4 isn't bad. Especially whenever Blood Moon, even though it's like not something I use that often, I find it just like incredibly different from all of my other multichromes, and I love that. Like I love having like something that's special in my makeup collection. So I'm hoping, I do want to use that a little bit more, but I think when we get into the fall months, that'll see a little more play. Maybe I'll build a palette around it. I'll do like a Blood Moon palette. Sounds good to me. Sounds like something that I would enjoy. Anyway, like I said, it was a short and sweet video. So if you enjoyed today's video, I would love to have you subscribe. I typically do longer videos where I like babble on, like tell you about a million things. I talk about, whatever, if that's like what you're into, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. It helps me in the algorithm. And I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. Again, there's no pressure to, it's just there if you would like to support in that manner. And I have merch, and that should be linked down below as well. Check it out. Buy something. Don't buy something. That's up to you. I'm going to leave you at that. Remember to follow your haute, and you will find me. I will see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye.